Hey everyone, I'm back in the Closet of Doom. There's a lot of shouting outside. It was finally starting to calm down, but it's just gotten really bad all of a sudden. So, here I am. I have very bad news for you guys, which I'm sure you've been hearing all day, but I'll say it again. If you're not on my Twitter, you would not know. But my roommate has been attacked, been badly injured, wound up in a hospital. He is getting better, enough that he could leave the hospital, of course, but he will not be coming back to Texas. He is currently in Alabama, and he said when he gets the money, he's leaving the country. But currently, I do not have a roommate. That presents a lot of other issues, because if I didn't have enough trouble before, now I have to worry about paying rent. But essentially, he left everything he owns, including his pets. So, I don't know what we're going to do about that. In the meantime, I need a roommate. Honestly, I don't know how much longer I'll be here. I have a contract, so I kind of have to stay, or pay an early termination fee. But I mean, the termination fee is the same amount as rent for a month, so it's a lot of money, and this is the absolute cheapest school in this town, cheapest apartment in this town. So but the thing is, I will probably have to leave town. It's getting more and more dangerous, and as it stands, I don't know if I can even stay in the state. But the only other family I have that I can go to is in Oklahoma, and I doubt they're much better than it is here. But at least then I have my siblings to help me. All my brothers. Today actually was a very depressing day, more because well, I received several death threats, but that's the world we live in now, and I'm just seeing all these people posting about what happened to them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, and it makes me terrified. I cannot begin to understand some of these things that they're going through. People having their hijabs ripped off their head. People have had, like, this guy has his car written all over it that says nigger, go home. People screaming, build the wall, send you back. Kindergartners shouting that their Mexican peer is going to get deported. Now, it doesn't say if this Mexican peer, of course, was legal or not. But it doesn't really matter. He's a kindergartner. They shouldn't be understanding this issue. And what really got me, my teacher has a son that's not even a year old yet. He's had a lot of problems physically and mentally because he is autistic, and he has a lot of trouble simply moving around. He's aged, I think he's 9 months old, but he has a mentality of a 3-month-old. He doesn't really understand a lot, can't really talk much, but he tries. Adorable, adorable child. My teacher was simply walking through the store. She got a bunch of death threats towards her child because he's autistic. This kid isn't even 1 yet, and he's receiving death threats? Really? And he, of course, doesn't understand it. He doesn't know why people don't like him. He's just a kid. He's like, why is this not working? Why can't I talk to anyone? My teacher burst out in tears in class, and she could not continue teaching. She was just upset. She said many students of hers have actually came up to her and said that they are leaving because it's not safe for them. And if there was any way they could do homework maybe online or something, so they could finish out the semester. Or they wouldn't be able to attend class. They're staying in Tyler, but they wouldn't be able to attend class, and if they could email stuff to her, and she tells them about the assignments and everything. It's just depressing, guys. It really is. She was in tears, scared for her own son's sake, you know? Some people left the classroom because they just, like, couldn't stop crying. And I just went up and hugged her, and we just sat there and hugged and hugged and hugged. And she knows I'm trans, and she was like, "How are you? I'm worried about you. I'm worried about everyone." And I didn't want to lie to her, so I told her how it really was, and she's just crying and crying and crying. We're holding on to each other, and it's an awful memory. No one should have to go through this issues but a little kid. It's devastating right now. A bunch of people are losing their jobs. A bunch of people have been kicked out of their apartment complexes. And it's all for these stupid things. Like, yeah, it's against the law currently, but who's gonna stand up for them? I don't know, guys. I mean, leaving the state is good, I guess, but I really do need to leave the country, and I'm scared to death to say that, because I don't want to leave the country. This is my home. But there's already so many dead. Suicide, and I mean, yesterday a bunch got shot at a protest, and it's just terrifying, guys. A trans woman was killed yesterday in my town. A woman I knew pretty well. Because we're a big family here, the trans community. And a bunch of my friends attended protest up in New York and in Dallas, Texas. And just all the big cities, they attended it, and I want to be there with them, but alone, I was terrified. My friends, they could be killed, and they're standing up for us. I mean, one, she was a woman. But other than that, she said she's mostly just standing up for her friends. People like me, people like some of my viewers. Just hoping we survive, and there's so much hate here, and I don't know what I could do. What I can do, it seems pretty hopeless, and I'm trying so hard to stay positive right now. I am trying so hard, but this is no joke. I don't know how much longer I can do this. It's only been a few days since he's been voted in. Like, he was voted in on Tuesday. Well, where I lived, it was Wednesday already because it was very late. But he hasn't even gotten to office yet. He doesn't get into office until January. That's how it starts. And, Obama can live out the last few months or whatever, but we're already in danger, and he's not even in office. I'm really hoping this blows over soon, guys, because I can't live in a closet, and I can't afford to pay my rent on my own. And I have a few friends who are willing to let me stay there for a little bit, but they're allergic to cats, or they can't have them in there, and I have school. I really want to finish my year, guys. Because, see, if I drop out, then all your student loans will be paid back, because they have the rule they have to pay back as soon as you leave school. All your scholarships have to be paid back, because if you don't graduate, then they become null. And I'm just scared, guys, because I can't do this on my own. I can't. And I don't feel safe in my own house anymore. I don't, and there's nothing to do about it. I'm just gonna be here, scared, terrified, just hoping that someone has a heart and is gonna reach out to me. I don't know what to do. I need help, guys. I do. I'm trying so hard to be positive for you guys, but I need help. I just can't do this alone. I'm trying so fucking hard to be positive right now. But what do I do? My rats are almost out of food, and I'm too scared to go to the store to pick some up right now. And I'm trying to, get them by feeding them some things they can eat that humans have, like pieces of bread and cheese and stuff. And I know eventually I'm going to have to leave to get food for them. But I really don't want to. I really don't. And I want them to live. Of course I want them to live, but I'm too scared. Guys, if you're watching this, thanks for being here for me. I'm trying to be the voice of the entire Texas community here, and I'm failing at that, I'm sure. Because there's so many of you who are probably so happy. We were a red state. Maybe it's safer up north. I don't know. People are getting shot in Seattle, though. That's up north. Seattle, Washington. There was people shot. At least 2 dead. And so far, the other 5 were being hospitalized. I'm scared, guys. I am so scared, and I know fear doesn't help anything. We need to mobilize together and fight this, because fear is not helping us right now. Obama wants the fear, because he knows people will do anything during the fear. And fear is the worst tactic in military history. Because if they're afraid of you, you've already won. They feel like they have no hope of winning. And so you've won. They won't try. But I'm gonna try, guys. And I know the odds of me succeeding at anything are so low. But I am trying. I will try. For my teacher's little boy. For all the people in my neighborhood who even voted for Trump. I don't care. I will try to fight so hard for people who are being discriminated against, who are being treated awfully. And I will try. I will try so hard to make sure everyone feels safe in this world. I don't want to flee my country. And I don't. I always wondered, I mean, I knew it was unsafe, but I always wondered why the Syrian refugees left. Because, like, didn't you have any pride in your country? Now I see it. It's absolutely terrifying here. And this isn't even a war. Yet. It will be, I'm sure. I don't know what to do. I want to leave and find somewhere. So I guess this will be my question for you guys. What country is very pro-LGBT? Very accepting. Not too hard to get into. English would be preferred, but I can try to learn another language. I just want to be safe, guys. A lot of people went to Canada, but the borders are already closed up until 2048 is what I've seen online, because they broke the immigration website in an hour. Just so many people were trying to flee. I'm trying, guys. I am trying to stay strong. I don't know where to go. Part of me just wants to go back to Ghana, because that's where I came from recently, it was last summer, but Ghana is very against LGBT, and it was scary even being there for the short time I was. Like, yeah, there was fun experiences, but it was still scary, and I mean, maybe they won't hunt me down, but there's no guarantee there. Please, if you know of any country that will let me in. I know a lot of countries are, we don't want the Americans. They brought themselves into this mess. Most of us didn't. Majority vote was against Trump. Hillary Clinton won the majority vote. But in our country, that doesn't matter. Whatever the majority is in your state means that state belongs to them. And based on population, each state is worth a different amount of points. So like Florida was worth 6 points, I think. New Hampshire was only worth 1. Maine, I think, was 14. So there was some big ones in there. It all depends on population, not really land mass. I think Texas was 6. But so whatever the majority is in your state means all those points go to that nominee. And it all came down to Florida. We honestly, whoever got those points would win the election. So even though we got majority vote, Florida's majority chose Trump. And this is why it's so important to vote, guys. I drove 3 hours there, 3 hours back from the polling location because I wanted my voice to be heard, and I was so scared that it wouldn't ever be. This may be my only chance. It may have been my only chance to vote ever, because it looks like we have a dictator now. And if that's the case, then I wanted to vote at least once. And I always wanted to vote, but this is an election that hit me seriously, and I really, just, I needed to feel like I did something. And if we had lost without me voting, I would have felt like it was my fault, like that one vote would have cost it. And I know logically, while it's possible, my one vote probably wasn't worth that much, but it's just depressing. I really don't want to have to find a new place to live, but I might have to. I'm thinking somewhere in the UK, maybe. If anyone lives in England or Ireland or Scotland or Australia or anything like that. And I know not all those are part of the UK currently. They used to be, but they're not anymore. But, you know, the general New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, those countries. If anyone lives over there, I'd love to hear about how your country is, because those speak English, at least mostly. Well, I know there is Welsh, so they may not speak as much English as I'm hoping, but I don't know, guys. I need to find a safe space. And people are making this the biggest joke ever. They're laughing on the internet. They're like, safe space, and Americans are gotten so weak now, and da-da-da. Someone actually posted, I'm glad Trump won because now I finally feel safe as a white man. And the sad part is, my mom agrees with that 100%. She's always like, it's not safe for us, it's not safe for us. Unless you're like a rich white man. And, yeah, my neighborhood was dangerous as hell. But it wasn't because I was white. It was because of our income. So, like, yeah, I'm in absolute agony right now. But it's not because I'm white. It's because I'm LGBT. And poor. But, it's just so scary. I don't really know what to do. I'm trying to make these videos count for something, just keeping you updated of all the day's events, so that it will go on in memory, and people will know. People will know, because that's the most important thing right now, is that people know what's going on, and not just what you hear online. Which, while this is online, it's different. It's a personal diary account. And online you may hear a few things. Like, they didn't even mention any of the shots fired at the Dallas rally last night. There was shots fired. It was dangerous. My friend had to run out. It was scary as can be. Now, were these tear gas shots or regular gunshots? I don't know. I mean, they sound so similar. Unless you're around them all the time, you wouldn't know the difference. But she heard shots, and she was scared. Everyone was scattering and screaming, and it was terrifying. And, I mean, you wouldn't be terrified. But the news just says, oh, there was a peaceful rally in Dallas today. Peaceful? A peaceful rally? Right. Thank you, news. Thank you. At least you mentioned it. There hasn't been any news about the crisis where we lost so many members of the community to suicide and fear and leaving the state and everything. And the one death of a trans woman we've already had, that wasn't mentioned by any news source. I had to find out through a friend of mine who was of course, in the community with me. Because we can't even post these things online because we're so scared that someone's going to look on our page and something and be like, you cared about that trans person? Oh. We're scared, guys. So fucking scared. And so many people are blacking out their faces and their profile pictures and stuff now for safety. People don't know how they look. But I figure it's kind of useless when I'm making video logs. But I want you guys to see the shambles this country is in right now, especially my community and my friends. It is a mess. This isn't about politics or anything, because no other election got this violent after their candidate won. I mean, even sports games don't get this violent. And they've been known to have some pretty big riots if their team loses, but I guess your team won. Why are you being violent? Because now it's going to be legal. That's assuming the point, but guys, stay strong out there. I'm going to try to stay the strongest I can here, and I will continue to update you the second I know about anything going on. I will keep you guys in the loop. So, as always, love Trump's hate. And from Texas with love, TFCom.